Hey everyone, Weekly Reviews here. So it's that time of the week. It's finally White Rice Wednesday. So today marked the 33rd season of Survivor, and it is Millennials versus Generation X. And I gotta say, one word to describe this episode was a complete whirlwind. They're paired off with basically old versus young, and right away, I've got to give credit to the oldest guy out there, Paul. I mean, there's usually one or two older contestants on Survivor, but to be out there at his age and being in Survivor, it's just amazing. And he seems like a real fun-loving guy. And Will, the youngest guy, he's still in high school. I think he even mentioned he dropped out to. I'm not 100% if he dropped out or he left high school. Wasn't really clear to be on Survivor. So congrats to both of them for following their dreams. The episode starts out like usual first episodes where they're trying to get running to get gear from camp, and Jeff gives them about 2 minutes to get everything they need, and they're getting food. They're trying to get all different things like to build a shelter, and right away they're made with a choice whether to choose fishing gear or chickens, and the teams both make very different choices. Generation X decides to take the fishing gear for the long term reasons, while Millennials decide to take the chickens because they lay eggs. So I could really understand the thought process between the two tribes. But what was interesting is that Jessica on the Generation X tribe found this clue. Now I automatically thought it was a clue to a hidden immunity idol because they like to hide those things in challenges, but it's this legacy advantage, and I'm not 100% exactly what it means yet, but if she stays till day 36, she'll get to use that advantage, and I don't know if that means that she'll get to vote whoever she wants out. I'm not sure. I hope they'll explain that better, but both the tribes were interesting. The Generation X tribe, there's really no clear alliances yet. I mean, they all seem to be getting along pretty good. The few people that stood out were David, and because right away he's already paranoid, and you all know in Survivor, paranoia can be one's downfall, and he's already suspecting people have an idol when they clearly don't, and Brett and Chris already look like they've had enough of him already. And then while David's like full of paranoia, Rachel is just super annoying and just won't shut up, and everybody sees that. And I'm very curious to see Sunday's story. She didn't get a lot of airtime today, but she seems like she's gonna be like the motherly type on the season. But I feel like there's more to her story, so I'm very curious to see what is with her. On the Millennials tribe, there are clear alliances. Jay, Figgy, and Taylor seem to be hitting it off. They seem to be they call themselves a Triforce. Well, Hannah recognizes this and goes to Mari, which I congratulate her for recognizing that and trying to form a different alliance. But I definitely wouldn't side with Mari. I mean, that's one person I gotta say that I don't like right off the back. Like, she brags that she plays video games for a living, and I don't like her attitude. Like, she belittles and looks down upon people who work hard for a living while she just sits on her ass playing video games all day. I just can't stand her. Zeke is he doesn't feel like he belongs there. He described himself as an 80-year-old guy in like a 20-year-old body, but he actually proved himself, and he actually was the first person to make a fire on the tribe. And yeah, Hannah, like I mentioned, she feels kind of left out, and it's hard being out there. You're trying to find your place, you're adjusting to your new surroundings, and you're trying to figure out where you belong out there. But people really underestimate the underdog, and there's little ones that are like Aubrey Rocco's or John Cochran's. But while this is going on, there's like this huge cyclone coming, and it's like nothing we've ever seen on Survivor before. Like, it got to the point where for the first time in Survivor history, they were actually evacuated because it was so bad there. And it was interesting because the Millennials were having a beach party while this is happening, so they didn't get to their shelter. But anyway, Jeff evacuated them, and the next day they go back to their shelter, and the Generation X tribe found out that the big tree went on their camp, so if they were there, they could have gotten seriously injured. So, they all pitch in on both tribes. They all pitch in to pick up the pieces and put their camp back on track. The immunity challenge was like kind of like a typical obstacle course challenge, I would say. But the thing was that they had the option to do shortcuts, and the more shortcuts they did, the more puzzle pieces were added. So I thought that was interesting. And oddly enough, the Generation X took more shortcuts than the Millennials, and the Generation X team had a really good lead at first, and the Millennials were kind of falling out of it, but Figgy did really awesome on the puzzle. I don't remember who was working with Figgy, but the Generation X tribe were ahead, but they really struggled with the puzzle, and Rachel and David were doing it at first, and they were terrible at it. So they had Sunday and Jessica go in, and they seemed like they would have definitely got it if they were the puzzle solvers at first. So the Millennials did win the first immunity challenges, so congratulations, Millennials. I'm definitely Team Vanilla. And Generation X lost because of the puzzle. So when they get back to camp, it's clear that it's either going to be David or Rachel. David because he's paranoid, and Rachel because she's annoying. And they all think that David has an idol because while they were trying to put their shelter back together, David was searching for an idol. And it was very interesting because he was blaming other people for finding an idol, but, he was accusing other people of finding an idol, but there he was. So he reassures everybody that he does not have an idol, and he'll vote for anybody that they tell him to. So he definitely wants to prove his loyalty, and Rachel can clearly see that she's on the outs. Her and Cece kind of gotten close, and so it looks like it's going to be an interesting tribal. When I get to tribal, I'm really hoping that David doesn't screw up and blurt something out and blow it. But it's clear that both David and Rachel know they're on the outs, and I was really hoping that the Generation X would make a great decision and vote Rachel out and not have it be another Jatia or Alicia move. And sure enough, the Generation X did vote Rachel out, and even though they lost the challenge, they did make the right decision on who to vote out. So, Rachel did deserve to go home, but, first person out, that's always, you never want to be the first person out in Survivor. You never want to be voted out, but never the first person out. So, very interesting episode of Survivor. I love it. I cannot wait for next week. The previews for next week, it seems like Jay is aware that Figgy and Taylor have a like a couple romance or something going on. That never works out in Survivor. They always try to get one of them out. And on Generation X Tribe, it looks like somebody might be medevaced already. And judging by when they said he think he might have had a heart attack, it might be Paul. Not confirmed yet, but it might be Paul. So I really hope it's not Paul. I feel for anybody who has to be taken out of Survivor due to a medevac. That's just an awful way to go. Right now, I'm definitely Team Vanilla. I feel like I side more with them, even though I can't stand Mari. I'm definitely Team Figgy. I love her. I think she's gonna go far on the game. I love how she said maybe she could find a husband out here. Boston Rob and Amber fell in love on Survivor. I'm definitely Team Adam also. I definitely think that out of all the people that have ever played Survivor, Adam definitely deserves to win because he needs the money and he'll definitely give back to other people, that's the kind of people that if I was on the jury, I'd be campaigning for to win. I'm definitely Team Hannah because like I mentioned before that I always usually root for the underdogs, and I definitely think that people are going to underestimate Hannah, but she's going to prove them all wrong and come out on top. And I'm definitely also Team Zeke. I love his sass, and I definitely think that he's proving himself to everyone and to himself too. So I cannot wait for next week in Survivor. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode of Survivor. If you want to catch Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. I hope you guys enjoyed Survivor tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed my Survivor recap. And until next time, Stay regal.